Bonjour, peeps. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Star Nations Organization's main fan page, where I do a daily or nearly daily live stream around the card draw that I do each morning for the energy that's most important for us to know about today. And we get to have a spiritual conversation about that. And I tell you what, I look forward to this because I love having those kind of conversations, and I love hanging out with our community here at Star Nations. Yeah, and so here we are sitting at Star Nations Academy, where I'm broadcasting from, Tomah, Wisconsin. We're about an hour east of the Mississippi and about an hour and a half, well, we'll call it 2 hours, from Madison, Wisconsin, which is our capital, going north, right? Going north. It's a beautiful day today. It's about 33 degrees out. I'm going to say it's warmer than that. I'm going to check real quick. It feels warmer than that. And, oops. It's about 40 degrees. 40 degrees. Yeah. That's warm. For this time of year in Wisconsin. That's happens every blue moon or so. And we've had a few of those this year, haven't we? So anyway, we're sitting here under blue skies, and I tell you what, the clouds are those wispy kind. And I was standing out waiting for George he was playing and, taking care of business right outside before we started the show. And I was looking up at the clouds and looking at the formations, and knowing that we can do divination through reading the clouds too. And so what was really, really big was a rabbit. You could clearly see the long ears and his puffy little tail, and his legs were up, and yeah. So what does rabbit mean, right? Abundance. And a lot of times it's associated with spring and new beginnings, that kind of thing. So yeah. Good stuff. Hey, Marvin's here. Hello, Marvin Kelly. Good evening to you too. And Julie's here. Julie Shumway Hill's here. Good afternoon, Julie. And I know, really. It's a heat wave. It's a tropical heat wave. That's what I told Mom this morning. Because I told her, I said, they're calling for 44 degrees as a high. And I said, that's balmy tropical heat wave kind of weather. And she says, there'll be people running around with no jackets on and shorts. And sure enough, that's the truth. That's the truth. Well, hello, Kimberly. Good evening to you too. Good evening. I'm so glad you guys are with me today, this afternoon, this evening. Wherever. What's so cool about Star Nations, I think there's many things, but one of the things that I find I'm grateful for and also fascinating is that we have a global reach, that we have in our Star Nations community. We have people from all over the world who come and listen to our live stream shows, who read the magazine. And, if they're a part of the Academy online, the closed group, when we have our mini classes, we also have some of those people in our classes as well. So, we are literally a global community, and I find it not just fascinating, but I'm so grateful for it. Why? Because we have so many different perspectives, right? Different cultures, different way of looking at things, and yet we also have this commonality, this golden thread that runs through, and that is our belief in spirit. How can you not have a good day after thinking about that? Julie saying, yes, shorts weather in Wisconsin. Yes, I know. And you know that there's going to be kids running around, not just kids, adults too. They'll have shorts on and they're running around with, no jacket on, or at least a sweatshirt. And yeah, like it's spring or fall. Remember saying divination using clouds is called aeromancy. Oh, I like that. Aeromancy. That's what I was doing. Yeah. So I saw a rabbit, and it was a pretty big rabbit, and it stuck around for a long time too. And then there was, it looked like a horse because it had longer legs and it had a long tail, and you could kind of see the outline of the face, that kind of oblong shape of the horse face. And I was looking at it and the way the clouds were kind of shifting its form. And I said, so what do I know about horses and when horse comes? Because it's one of my my power animals, and it's all about freedom, and um, even when I turn my mind to that power animal, I can smell the horse, and how they kind of not snort, but they kind of have that way of heavy breathing, and they nudge you with their nose, yeah, like that, and how soft their nose are. Yeah. Let's see, and or nephilomancy. Don't you like the way I sound out words? Hey, Rob. He says it's in the 40s in Michigan a few days after freezing fog. I know. I took meteorology in college, and this is the first time I've heard of it. I did too, Rob. I did too. When I was in college, you know how I always took one class a semester that was just for fun. And I loved learning about the weather patterns and all that. And I saw freezing fog, or frozen fog it was, here a couple of days ago, and I'm thinking, I've never seen that before, that term. What does that really mean? Because fog is a ground inversion. It's a cloud, really, kind of like a nebula, right? And I'm thinking, okay, so if it's frozen, why don't they call the clouds up in the sky frozen just before it snows, right? Because the water particles freeze into crystals. Why isn't the cloud frozen? So I need to sit down with somebody has a little bit more knowledge, a lot more knowledge about meteorology than me, to ask that question, right? And Nellie's saying, depending on who you ask. So we have two different terms for cloud divination. Cloud divination. Anybody else in the live chat ever look up at the clouds for divination information? It's fun. It's fun. And let me tell you, once you put your focus on it, you turn your attention to it, right? And you're reading the clouds. There's so many more. It's almost like right? The spirit of air is giving us those cloud formations and how it morphs and changes. And it's almost like somebody wipes it, the screen clean, and then another one comes in. Pretty cool. Yep. Rob says, I'm more into watching birds. Yeah. And it's not freezing on the roads. Yeah, absolutely right. Right. Because it doesn't, well, the fog actually does touch the ground. It's called the ground inversion, and that's when you have warmer air that's trying to rise, and you have the cold air mass over the top of it, and it reaches a dew point, right? And so it really formulates a cloud, and that's fog. But you're right; it didn't cause black ice, right? Interesting stuff. Yeah. Hey, Kim, she's saying, yes, I see a lot. Very interesting. Yeah, and when you turn your attention to it, you even see more. Because it's breeze. We have a light breeze. I wouldn't say that it's windy. It's a light breeze, but you can really see up in the clouds that it's much windier up there. And it was really kind of morphing and changing those clouds. And they're very high, almost those thin, what are those called, Rob? Stratosphere? Is that the name of the clouds? I don't think they're a cumulus. It's been a while since I identified clouds. Yeah, and Rob is saying yesterday it did. That shouldn't have happened. It's weird. Yeah, and there's nothing going on strange with our weather, right? When we all know that it does. And there's also weather spirits. Did you know that? Yeah, there are. Just like we have nature spirits, we also have weather spirits. And we also have, Cindy says she's having problems with seeing this live. Yeah, we should probably share and like, huh? And I'm going to go and do that right now so we can get Cindy the link. I almost forgot to do that. I got all excited about the clouds. All right. So I'm going to share it, write a post, Ren's timeline, and we're going to go to Cindy Ferris. I think that's how you spell her name. Oops, that's not how you spell it. Rries. Rats. How many Cindys do I have? Cindy Kranz, Cindy Addis, Fedor. I don't have Cindy. Does anybody have Cindy Ferris as their friend to be able to send it over to her? That would be helpful. That would be very helpful. Okay, so we're going to go to my timeline, and we'll share it there. Maybe I'll reach her. Okay, and then please join. There we go. We'll get that sent. Maybe she'll see it there. And then we'll send it over to one of the closed groups. Streaming. Okay, and then please join. There we go. And then we'll get the closed group, the Academy, because I already sent it over to the radio network. Okay. Now, she sent it to me in Messenger. I should be able to send it to her in Messenger, right? Is that right? Don't you just love this technology? It's grand when it works, right? Here we go. There, I think I got it. And then get back to our live stream. Good. Yay. I like it when it works. Okay. Let's see, where did we leave off? Okay, everyone's saying the observation of birds can be another form of divination. We know the ancient Druids did that. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And like yesterday, I shared this on Paul Krause's show yesterday. I was his guest, and my lighting is weird. Hang on. I don't know if that's going to make any difference. George moved my lighting yesterday. He was playing and kind of pulled the cord and pulled the light stand over a little bit to the right. So anyway, I was on Paul Krause's show with him last night, and we were sharing information. Oh, well, maybe no, I'm sorry. It was on Julie's show, The Tarot Journey. I had shared that we were driving back. Paul and I were driving. My husband Paul and I were driving back from La Crosse yesterday afternoon. I'm sorry, yesterday morning. And in the shoulder of the road, a state highway, no less, there was an eagle, a bald eagle, on the ground, standing there. They're very tall. They're about 3 to 4 feet tall. And it was just standing there, and it was big. So I'd venture a guess that it was probably a female bald eagle. And there was probably some sort of roadkill or something in the area, because there was also 5 crows in there. And it was a little, I don't want to say shocking, but it was like, oh my God, did you see that? And it was like, there was a bald eagle standing on the side of the road. And Paul and I were talking about that, and what eagle means and what we were thinking about when we saw it. And he said, well, if you were talking to your Star Nations peeps, what would you be telling them about that? And I said, well, the bald eagle is we believe that it's a messenger directly to the Creator, because it's the only bird that flies really, really high. And so, for that bird to be on the ground, grounded to Grandmother Earth, grounded, I said, that would be telling me that whatever it is that I was thinking about or that I'm working on is that it's big medicine getting grounded to the earth plane. And he says, wow, that's pretty cool. And I said, yeah. And he goes, so what were you thinking about? I said, really? I was thinking about the structure of Star Nations and how I'm so grateful for Stephanie to have said yes to join us as a social media manager, and that I'm looking for a person to help me with the academy. And I think somebody stepped forward. We just need to arrange a time to talk, and a few times, to get on the same page and see if she's interested. And I said, so, I think Spirit's telling me that I'm on the right track. And so, yes, Nellie, about, the observation of birds and the 5 crows, that what we know about crows about mean messengers, right? And the number 5 is about transformation. And so, yeah, definitely. What Paul said about the crows and the bald eagle, he goes, I tell you what, if I was one of those crows and a bald eagle came in and landed, I'd be taking a few steps back and saying, whatever you need, guy, whatever you need, it's all yours. Because I don't want to be its lunch. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, I'm not sure which ones. They were very, very high and very thin. Could have been Cirro. Could have been Cirronimbus, maybe. I'd have to actually. I should have taken a picture. Dang it. Mervyn is saying whichever were needed essentially, or whichever birds were around, different meanings related to different birds. This also included flocks of birds. Yeah, isn't it fascinating? And how we can, that Spirit offers us so many different ways to be able to get information, to divine the information, right? I think it should be something we're very grateful for. Cirrus clouds. That's it. Thank you, Julie. Rob says, birds don't fly that high, and I still work with plenty of distractions. Well, actually, now it depends on the bird, because golden eagles fly very high. And they're even larger than bald eagles. Okay, and then there's the condor, which is even bigger than a golden eagle, and they fly very high as well. They're up in the Andes Mountains. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Cindy Ferris, yay, you made it. I'm glad you're here, Cindy. I sent it through Messenger, so I knew you would be able to get it. And divination using birds is ornithomancy. Ornithomancy. That's very cool. The Romans called it augury. Huh. Meet Tina. Tina's here. Yay. Good to see you, Tina. And Mervyn is saying there's a name for everything, it seems. I know. There's a, my mom tells a story about when she was young. There was an older Native American woman, and my mom was young at the time. And so this lady, she says, was really, really old. So, like 80s, 90s, right? And she would say something like, I don't know. This is going to be kind of weird. She says, the white man's language, they have a word for everything and a word for nothing. Whereas a lot of native languages use the same word for maybe a couple of different things, depending on how you use it in the sentence, right? Or how you use it in the context. And so they reuse the words depending on what they're talking about. And whenever she tells me that story, I always laugh. It's a good one. Rob is saying, when I was referring to rugby, I could tell what would happen during the match by watching the birds on the way to the match. That's right. And they help us. Spirit helps us with what we might consider our mundane lives. And yet Spirit is right there to help us understand it better, right? Mervyn saying, my little druid emoji doesn't seem to work on screen. Well, dang. You're going to have to send it to me. Send it to me in Messenger. so I can see it. He says, I think most of the terms we currently use derive from Greek. Probably. Yeah. Rob is saying arithromancy is indeed Greek. Uh-huh. Yeah. Like grandmother. Yeah, exactly. So all that for just a little cloud divination this afternoon. Yeah. George is sleeping underneath my table again, holding the energy for us. I was telling him he was such a good boy, that we were going to work, right? And I said, remember, that's your job. You wanted a job? That's yours, to hold the energy for us. And so he's doing such a good job. Such a good boy. All right, so cards. Cards. This is the first card for today. It's a good one. My favorite one, drum. Of course, I have so many of the favorite cards in this deck. Yeah, drum. And it says dream and journey. Dream and journey. Yeah. And when we look at the actual hoop there, on the inside of it, thank you, Mervin. I just got your emojicon in Messenger. Let's see, pull it back just a little bit. Try to see if we can get it in focus. Okay, so I'm not sure if this is really focused very well, but on the inside of the hoop, there's symbols, right? You got the full moon, you got the quarter moon, you got the full sun, and you got the stars. And on showing the four directions, you have animals depicted there, right? And notice how the sun, the moons, and the stars are in the cross quarters. We call that the crosswinds. I think it's a fascinating card. And you have all the symbols all the way around the circle. Fascinating. When you make a drum, and you're doing the lacing part, you're pulling the lace through the holes on the backside. And this is for a single head drum. We call that creating the universe, because the drum represents the entire universe. The lacing itself is that creation part, and the lace, when you're sending it through the holes, is represents how your daily life flows. And when you make a drum, it's kind of like a snapshot. It's a snapshot of what your energy is like at that time. So you could make one drum and you're having a difficult time with it. You're breaking lace. You can't get it centered. That's just a snapshot of where you are in your life. And maybe you make another drum and it goes really smoothly. It took you half the time to make it and it's nice and centered. And that shows you how much spiritual work that you've done, how much healing you've done, and how grounded you are. And so my very first drum, I couldn't get that thing centered with nothing. I even had other people work on it to try to get it centered, and it wouldn't center. But that's where I was in my life in 2002. Yeah. So the drum represents the entire universe. And that's what is shown on this card. And since we're part of the universe, we're part of that drum beat. The universe has its own heartbeat, which comes through and also is a part of every planet's heartbeat, including our own, Grandmother Earth, her heartbeat. And then it goes down to our mother's heartbeat. That was the first sound that we heard in utero, was her heartbeat. And so then when we drum, we're drumming the heartbeat of all of that, the entire universe. When you pray with a drum and you're sending out your prayers on that drum beat, It's really the gap between the beat is where your prayer resides, kind of sits in there, right? And it's in the sacred geometry between the beats. That is the gap, and that is probably the most potent place when you're listening to a drum. And so I love anything and everything about drums, really. And so to get this card this morning, I was all smiles. I was all smiles. Yeah, let's see. Cindy is saying, beautiful boy, George. Yes, he is. He's a good one. This, we've been using the same deck, Cindy, since the end of September. And this is, here, let me take down the name so you can see it. This is the deck that we're using. It's called Angels and Ancestors Oracle Deck. It's by Kyle Gray. And the artist is Lily Moses. Lily Moses. Yeah. So it is a brand new deck, but we've been using it since September. It was published this year in 2018, and it was released in September. So yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Where did I get mine? Amazon.com. Stephanie is busy with her son this afternoon, so she usually puts all that information in there. I think what I'll do is see if I can get that information in the comments after the show. Okay, the link to the cards. Tina says, I'm going to have to look that up because I always have visions of different cloud formations. Would like to know what it means. Yeah, wouldn't that be kind of cool if we had a class about that? Cloud formation, cloud divination. I'm going to ask Minnie. I'm going to ask Minnie if she is able to teach a class on that, and we'll see if she can do a free mini class, a 1-hour class, and through the Academy closed group here. It's enough to get us started anyway, right? Give us the base of it. I'll ask her. Reverend saying some of those symbols appear to be Sami, and it's possible, very possible, because the author Kyle Gray taps into several different cultures in his cards. Very much pagan, very much earth-based, and so yes, I would agree. You probably use some of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so the same. Yes, they're the same cards. Mm-hmm. Rob says, I have to go. I'll have to catch the rest in the archives. Good, you could join us for a while, Rob. It's always good to see you in the chat. And Kimberly is saying, I have just bought Crystal Angel tarot cards, which are good for starting out. Oh, good one. All right. And Crystal Angel, is that by Doreen Virtue, Kimberly? Because I don't really remember. It's been a while since I've used Doreen's products. So yeah, let us know, Kimberly, who's the author of that deck. I think it's Doreen, but I'm not 100% sure. All right, so let's see what Kyle has to say about drum. Drum. Here we are. Dream and journey. He says, journey inwards to uncover insights and information that will be important for your path. Then follow the guidance. Journey inwards to uncover insights and information that will be important for your path. All right, so yesterday we had the protection guardian, right? Again, right? And it was about calling on her, to asking her to do the protection for us, so that it would free up our energy to really work and understand our gifts even better, so that when we apply them, and we should be applying them, using them, that we're actually doing our soul work. And so that was the gist of the reading yesterday, was it applying them. So this one, when I took a look at it and was reading the information, is that when we are finding out more and more about our unique gifts that we came in with, each one of us, right, is that sometimes we don't really, we want to know more. We want to know more. We want to know, well, maybe you want to know what it is. What are they? What are my gifts? Maybe you do know most of your gifts, if not all of your gifts, and now you're saying, okay, I want to go deeper. How do I do languages better? How do I use that in my soul work, my soul contract work? How do I do that? And so you can actually use the drum in your meditation to go deeper. The drum beat actually helps you to it reaches that special brainwave, right, for the meditations. And what we can do, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to look on YouTube, and I'm going to see if there is a shamanic drum beat that I would use. If I were doing the work and I didn't know about drumming and I didn't know about shamanic drum beats very much, yeah. What would I refer to me? Does that sound weird? And so maybe what I can do is find you at least a resource for that. I did some early recordings. I might have one with a shamanic beat that helps you to find your power animals. I may have that. If I do, I know I do. If I have to find the recording, I can share it with you guys. Okay. At least you know what the drum beat sounds like. And so he goes on to say, is in shamanic traditions in all four corners of the world, the drum is recognized as the main tool used by medicine men and women to direct their will and aid meditation, which, is totally true. Every culture, every indigenous culture, and you are indigenous to somewhere. Your people came from somewhere that you're indigenous to. And in that culture, every culture had some sort of drum. Yes. You might have to go back many generations to identify it, but it was there. Your ancient ancestors had a drum of some sort. And so this is the part where I can tell that Kyle is writing from a UK perspective, right? Because for in Indigenous people here on Turtle Island in the United States, we don't call those people in our clans that do that kind of traveling, soul traveling, spirit traveling, medicine people. They're usually, the loose translation to English would be more like holy person. Okay. Medicine people are slightly different. They're the ones that really know the herbology. They're healers. You go to them with a cut and they'll know exactly what to do. You go to them with a high fever and they know exactly what to do. They're healers. The holy people, men or women, they're the ones that do that traveling in the dark. They're the shaman. I kind of say kind of shaman because that's not our word. But so they're slightly different. Yeah. The holy people, they're the ones that do the shape shifting. Yeah. Yep. Could say a lot more about that, but we're talking about the drum. It says a drum beat can be hypnotic and send those listening into an altered state that can allow them to journey into the spiritual realms and meet their guides. When the drum card appears in a reading, there are opportunities for you to dream or to bring an inner vision into reality. George just moved. And so, okay, so let's take that last sentence. All right. There's an opportunity for you to dream, to bring an inner vision into reality. So if you're working on identifying your gifts or understanding, learning how to use your gifts even better, that's what you're trying to bring into this reality, onto this earth plane at this time. So if you want to experience identifying, asking your team, your spiritual team for assistance, and want to experience it through the use of the drum, you can do that. You can still connect with your spiritual team, and say that I would like to know more about my gifts through this shamanic journey, through this use of the drum. You can do that. And if you want to experience it in that way, there's lots of different ways to be able to get to the information. It just depends on which one fits you the best. Yeah. Okay, Kimberly saying, yep, it is during virtue. Thank you, Kimberly, for that. And Tina's saying they're like seers, I think, and do all the medicine seen into the future and healing of the people's spirit. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it's I think that there's the seers and the oracles. Okay. The seers are actually the ones that kind of help you with your day-to-day life and helping you understand and see things in your own life, not necessarily a lot of futuristic okay, it would be like a short distance, they're showing me like a tape measure. It's a short distance. It's not like way far into the future. Whereas an oracle gives, like generations or your lifetime kind of information. But you're right. You're right, Tina. It's about it's helping all the people. That's when they're using it for good medicine. Yeah. Okay. Tina said I was talking about a native holy man. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. I got that. You're right. Yeah. I think it also depends on the people. See, like the Ho Chunk, they view it slightly different than say the Hopi. So we can't say it completely all the way across the board and be a really general kind of broad stroke to it, because each nation and even each clan within the nation sometimes have it slightly different to really different. So yeah, but we live in a huge land here. Grandmother Earth. Here on Turtle Island, we were gifted with so many different ways of perspective. And I think that's a good thing. Yeah. And so Nellie is saying, thanks to many different anthropologists, the word shaman has become a catch-all word to describe the people who do that kind of work and journey. I think the word originated in Siberia. Yeah, it's a Sami word. And it loosely translates into English, one who travels in the dark. Yeah, and it's a Sami word. It's in their native language. In the Sami, they're where they reside goes from one ocean side to the other, across Norway and Finland and into the lower part of Russia, northern part of Mongolia, through that. And what's that mountain range name? It's not the Alps. It's the only thing that separates them. the Sami, all going from ocean to ocean. Yeah. So, they cover quite a range too. Yeah. So they probably have some variations as well, huh, Tina? I bet they do. If we sat down and had a cup of tea with them and had this kind of discussion, I wonder what that would be like. Would that be fascinating? What similarities and what, the differences and that kind of thing. Yeah. And you're right, Mervyn, I have to agree with you. The use of the shaman is kind of like, I used this last night when Paul showed, it's kind of like Kleenex. When you say the word Kleenex here in the United States, everybody knows it to be one thing, which is tissue. But Kleenex is a brand of tissue. And so it's kind of like that because it's gotten such a wide use now. Yeah. All right. Let's see. I gotta go down. Scrolling down if it'll let me. There we go. Let's scroll down. All right. Oh, here we go. And Tina is saying, my husband's grandfather told him that you're chosen to be a shaman, native holy person, not made to be one. Exactly. Yes, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, we should do a whole show on just that alone, Tina, really, because my grandfather and my mom have said the same thing, is that they say that it goes in a lineage, and that spirit selects you, that you don't do the selecting. Spirit selects you, and the creator does. So we should do that, huh, Tina? I think I'm going to put that on for sometime in 2019, early 2019. I'll have that as a show topic, and we can have a nice discussion about that. Yeah, because there's a thing about deciding that I'm going to be a shaman, so I'm going to start taking some classes. I think that it's good to get some information to round out your knowledge. But if it's not a part of your path and you're trying to force it to be your path, yeah, then we got some situations that occur that unfortunately it's called psychic mop up, cleanup. And yeah, I think we should do that. I'll do that. I'll schedule it. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Mervyn saying he agrees, and Kimberly said, sounds good. Very interesting. Yep. And very cool. Yeah, we'll get that scheduled. I'll try to do it in January while it's still fresh on my mind. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the drum because what time is it? I've got 15 minutes to cover 3 more cards. Okay, here we go. This is the drum card that was selected. Kyle goes on to say that you are very connected to the other worlds at this time. The wisdom and intelligence of the earth and her magic surrounds you. The drum, which echoes the sound of Mother Earth's heartbeat, has cleared the cobwebs and dust from your inner vision. What you have seen in your dreams and inner vision is not imagination, but guidance, particularly if it's been coming to you repeatedly and has the potential to become reality. Dreams come true, know it and live it, he says. All right, so watch your dreams. For those people who tend to get information through dream time, now would be a good time to really focus on it. Take it in, because remember, we're still in that 12-12 gateway energy, and that energy goes until the 21st, through the 21st. So if we're still tapping into that, right? Watch your dreams. The ones that make a difference, those prophetic ones, those ones that feel like it's that you're actually there, because you are. The ones I mean. And maybe even write them down, because if you are looking at identifying your gifts or really trying to use them and polish them as best you can, Yeah, that kind of information could be coming through your dreams as well. Isn't that cool? Yeah. All right. So here we go. Look who came back. Second card. Look who came back. Protection Guardian. Protection Guardian. She's back. This is like the 4th or 5th day that she's arrived. So she's a protector. Kyle referenced her similar to Archangel Michael, the female aspect of Archangel Michael. And basically, she's asking us to call on her, ask her to come to help you with your protection so that she can hold the shield up for you, so that your energy is then used towards your gifts, that you're not using your energy to hold up your boundaries and your protective shields. Okay? That call on her and she will do it for you. Lovingly do this for you. And she will surround you with the frequency of love. Okay? And so for her to come back again, she really means it. Please call on me. I'm asking you to use my energy to do this for you because we have big work to do. When we're all working on our soul work, on our soul contract, what we were meant to do here in our lifetime, that's big medicine. And so she's saying, please call on me. Please call on me. Let me help you. I can't help you unless you ask me. So she's really, for her to show up this many times, we really have to pay attention to it. Yeah. Here, Tina's saying, they can open up a portal that bad comes in. Are you talking about the holy people still? Yeah, the ones that, yes, that's true. Okay, I think I got what you mean, Tina. Is that those that would like to be a holy person or a shaman, and it's not theirs meant for them to do, they're kind of forcing it. Yeah, that's true. That's what I meant about psychic mop-up. Yeah, been there, helping out. Yeah, sometimes not very pleasant, but we're there to help. Kim says, could I take a few suggestions, please? Could we look at galactic star families? Also, have you ever had an international seminar to share information to get together? Yes, we've had that idea. And this was early on when we first started Star Nations. And at the time, my business partner really wanted to do that, but every time she worked on it, it just didn't come together. Something would happen and the plans would fall through and that kind of thing. It just wasn't divine timing for it, I think. But yes, we've had that idea, and we've actually kind of talked about it as well with the other show hosts and contributing writers. We're talking about hopefully in 2019, maybe toward the fall, is to do more like a regional kind of get together. Because many of our writers and contributing writers and show hosts, they all have their own space that they teach from, just like I do, right? And so to be able to maybe do it regionally, we can offer it at a more reasonable cost, right? And we certainly would open it up to anybody who wants to come. So, to do the international thing, we would really want to be closer to maybe a more of a hub for an airport like Atlanta or Georgia, or Atlanta, Chicago, Minneapolis, New York, LA, those kinds of things. So yeah, we've thought about it. It's just pulling it together. And once I start getting a little bit more assistance, which is, it's happening, it's occurring, that it frees me up to actually be the steward more often and the CEO kind of stuff. Yeah, so it's a good thing. Yeah. And yeah, we can look at galactic star families. We certainly can do that. That's a great idea. we'll take a look at that one, see if we can have come in to share what they know about it. Okay. Good one. Yeah. All right. So we have the protection guardian coming back around, and she's saying, please call on me. To be able to free up our energy to really turn our focus or allocate our energy in our gifts, so that when we're applying them, we're actually using them. We're shining our light, right? And she's saying, let me be your protector. Let me do the protection, and you'll have your energy to use toward your gifts. Yeah. Okay. So she's back. I think we need to really take her seriously. Yeah. And also, for those of you who, when I said dreams, I could kind of feel like, those people who have recurring dreams that maybe are not very pleasant, almost bordering on nightmare, and you have it multiple times, it recurs, call on her, the protection guardian. Call on her. Call on your team. Make sure you have your protection set up before you even go to sleep. And also, if you're facing some fears, or if you're going through your belief systems and you're identifying what you want to let go because it's not supporting you anymore, it may have something to do with that, right? It may. All I'm saying is don't run from it. Look at it. See what's really there. And when you do, you don't have to do it by yourself. Call on your team, call on your friends, your inner circle people, and talk about it. And you may need to reach out for more resources, but to actually look at it, because it's recurring for a reason, right? Yeah. Yeah, and Kim is also saying, that would be wonderful. I would love to come through and possibly connect it with Mount Shasta. Well, if we can, we'll put it on a list. We'll see what we can create. And look, Tina, this is the third card that came. The third card that came is the Seer. When you wrote the Seer, I thought, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, and so the Seer is see beyond the current situation. See beyond the current situation. It's another really gorgeous card. Yeah, we're not looking at the situation with our physical eyes. We're looking at the situation with our intuition, with our soul, with our heart. I'm not saying that our mental mind isn't helpful. It is, and we should be using it, but in balance. And sometimes, because we're trained to do it from little on, is to get into the logical, analytical mind, right? And we're trying to resolve something with our mental mind that isn't in the physical world, really. Sometimes there's no logic to it. And so you kind of spin yourself into circles trying to figure something out logically, when it really is about spirit and your soul. And sometimes there is no logic to it. Right? Yeah, which is a whole nother subject again. So let's take a look at Seer and see what Kyle has to say about that from his perspective. Hey, Polly Joe just got here. Oh, we're never late. We're right on time. It's called divine timing, right, Polly Joe? Just don't call me late for supper. Depending on what we're having, though. If it's fry bread, okay. The Seer, see beyond the current situation. Look beyond your current situation, raise your vibration, and focus on love. All right, so if we're talking about finding out more about our gifts, accessing them more, polishing them up, really using them, working our soul contract, doing our soul work. We're freeing up our energy and asking the protection guardian to do the protection for us, to hold our boundaries, to hold our protective shield, so that we can use our energy allocation toward our gifts, right? What this card is saying is look beyond your current situation and raise your vibration and focus on love. So when we're using our gifts, and the guardian is surrounding us in the vibration of love. So don't look at your gifts from your logical mind, that analytical mind. It's okay to use it in a little bit. But when you're asking Spirit to show you more about your gifts, and this is a different way of being, right? Than we were trained to do. And this is looking at them first with your heart, allowing your soul to lead. Okay. And if we can lead with that, then follow it up with your analytical mind when you're sitting down to say, okay, I need to map out a plan. That's when our analytical mind, our logical mind can come in and say, okay, we're going to push up our sleeves and we're going to come up with a plan that we can apply so that we reach our goal, right? Yeah. Grounding our gifts and the use of our gifts to the earth plane. We do, as Polly Jo would say, we do that through our physical body. But our analytical mind can help us map it out. We can come up with a plan. And it's okay to use our analytical mind for that. But when you're first starting to look at them, identify them, learn more about them, learn how to use your gifts more so you're shining them up and really shining your light, come through to it with your heart first. Yeah. I think that's the message. It says a seer will help you see that your intentions can change, therefore so can your future. The message of this card is to let the clairvoyant within you rise up so that you can see the way forward yourself with your spiritual eyes. With your spiritual eyes. Clairvoyance isn't just about predicting the future. It's about being able to see clearly through enough to create your best future. You're being encouraged by your ancestral guides and angels to go beyond what you think is happening now. Don't allow your ego or doubts to play games with you. So in other words, it's when we get into that analytical mind that we kind of spin ourselves in circles, right? Yeah. It says angels of light are upgrading your energy so your experiences can be more enjoyable. You're moving towards something extremely uplifting and enlightening. So stay calm and keep your eyes on the prize, which is our gifts. It's your gifts, right? I love it. It's a good one. We have one more card, and then I'm going to try to pull it all together, okay? And we're at the top of the hour. This is the last one. It's called Lady. Oh, God. I got a puppy in my lap. Yeah, we're almost done, Georgie. We're almost done, okay? Yeah, you're doing such a good job. All right, so here's Lady. And on the card, it says, enjoy growth and reap rewards. So I'm thinking that if we take to heart the information that was shared through Spirit today about the drum, dream, and journey, and then the protection guardian, really focusing on our gifts, that if we do our spirit work, our soul work here, that we're going to be reaping the rewards. It's about abundance and a bounty. It's very positive. Enjoy growth and reap the rewards. Yay. So that's a full reading, isn't it? That's just not something that I mean, look at this. It's something. And we started the whole thing out with divination of the clouds, cloud divination. So I really do feel that Spirit is really, because the intention for the card draw in the morning is what energy is most important for us to know about today. And for today, I think we're really, that protection guardian means business. She is serious about calling on her so that it frees up our personal energy so that we can focus on our gifts. I love it. Yeah. All right. I'm going to double check to make sure I didn't miss any comments. Yeah, Jackie's saying powerful day. Exactly. Gotta agree. Jackie, gotta agree. All right. There's something else I want to do here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Well, it looks like, every third week I do a giveaway, right, for the magazine. We do a giveaway of one of the past issues of the magazine, and I was so busy yesterday, I forgot. So today we're going to be doing that, and I usually do the counting to see, randomly who came into the chat, and it looks like Kimberly Griffiths. You're going to be receiving a back issue of Star Nations magazine. If you could please PM me your postal address so I can send it to you, that would be great. And I'll try to get that out to you in the next few days. Okay. Crystal. Yes, he is. George is getting very big. He's 47 pounds. Yeah. And he's wanting to go out. So I'm going to have to keep moving here, and so I can get him outside. So thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. And whatever resonated with you, please embrace it, pick it up, and see how the day energy unfolds for you, and how you can utilize it, right? Yeah. And if it didn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. It's okay. It just wasn't meant for you this time around. Or maybe you can send a link to a friend. And please join me this evening for Communications from Home. That's my weekly live stream. And we're going to be doing the Unity Breath guided meditation tonight. So please join me for that. And Polly Joe's up again tomorrow, Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for Soul Connections. And that's on Wednesday. So mine is at 8 p.m. tonight, Eastern Time. And Polly Joe is back on Wednesday at 7 p.m. So enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for the card draw live stream. That's Bama Mina until we see each other again. I love you guys.